Guys, I've done it again. I think I might have a little bit of an addiction with these prancing horse cars. This one I actually did purchase a little while ago. You might have seen it in the backdrop of a few videos, but there was method to my madness. Let me explain.
Very bad. Now she is, obviously the brakes work.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you want to, someone wants to sit in and then we'll just push her around.
Does the handbrake work?
Because obviously the door's got to be open to steer it otherwise, which makes it a bit tricky. It's nice to think there's something that works on the car, isn't it? He's actually, really? They work? Really, they work?
You don't need seats, you don't need seats for that.
Seats.
I reckon the fluid might need changing.
We have no idea what the history is on this car. So it's the second gamble on the channel. I think this one is a little bit more of a gamble than the Scuderia.
Second gamble in the last week, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I don't know what the history is on this one. I don't know where it's sat, but you'll see. We'll do a tour of the car. It's had better days, let's put it that way. So my intentions when I bought this 348 was to use all of the underpinnings, all of the chassis as much as possible, and all the paperwork and chassis number to build an F40 glorified tribute. But things have changed for the better. Now, those of you who follow me on my socials will have had a little bit of inside information and a few little sneaky clues as to why this Ferrari 348 is now surplus to requirements on an F40 build. So now we no longer need this for an F40. What are we going to do with the 348? Well, the saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. It looks terrible, but underneath that surface, I think we might have a bit of a gem here. So why don't I give you a little tour around the car and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, let's start with the sides of the car. Well, there's a few things I like about this 348. Number one is it's completely original. It's also very complete. There's nothing missing on this one. There's a couple of bits that we've already taken off it, but there are a few things, quite a few things that are also wrong with it. First of all, the paint. I'm sure you've noticed the paint on this car. Well, not only is it multicolored, we've got Rosso Corsa at the front, we've got some primer, and where the car has been in the sun, some of this Rosso Corsa has turned orange. But the worst part of it is, if you have a look over here, this clear coat, look at this. It just peels off. It's actually very satisfying to do that, but over the last couple of months, me and Owen have been peeling it all off of the bonnet here, and there's not much left on there. Anyway, all of that has got to come off. So clearly this car, if we do any kind of restoration on it, is going to need a full repaint. Other than that, like I say, we've got all the mirrors, we've got all the wheels, we've got all the wheel arches. Everything on this car is original, and when I say original, I'm talking about many people with 348s change things like the color of this. The later 348s, this was color coded red or whatever to match the body color. Same with the roof. A lot of people, this is a Targa 348, and many people color code this so it looks a bit like a coupe. It does actually look very good, but like I say, it's cool that this car is completely original. We have got repaint to do on this car. We've got everything on the back. As I mentioned earlier, the back bumper here looks very, very orange indeed. So it's obviously been parked right in the sun and faded. Things like this, the prancing horse on the rear grille here, black, that is original. Many people change those to chrome ones. So it's really quite refreshing to see this car in its condition without things being changed over on it. So this car was actually a very cheap purchase, and that's why we were going to use it for the 348. But if we broke this for parts, it's probably worth more than I paid for it. Things like this rear grille, we're talking well over £1,000 for this. This is all original. Now these things break apart, they start to wobble, and this one is totally solid. So really, really nice to see things like that. We've got all the badges on here. We've got the engine lid, all good. Same on this side. In fact, it's probably worse on this side. Someone has obviously done some kind of primer there, started to do some body work on it. Same up here. Now we got the usual thing on 348s, but the two bits where the bodies mate together, it always starts to look like it rusts along here, but it's actually just the two metals that have some kind of reaction and it just makes the paint look terrible. So pretty much all 348s, 355s will have had paint here. So this is not going to be the first 348 to be painted. So the nice thing about the 348 is if you check the car vertical on it, it has got no accident history on it, which means once we fixed it up, it's going to be a perfect car. However, I'm always looking for different Ferraris to build on the channel. I love the Scuderia build, so I was checking out this 430 and that's got a different story entirely. Have a look at this. So we got a 2007 Ferrari 430, and on the overview our traffic light system looks really good apart from damage, and that's where it gets quite interesting. Let's drill down on this one, have a look at the pictures. So we have got some damage to the front of the car, looks very similar to the 430 Scuderia that we've just done, and again it's just on the exterior. From the look of it, we got front end, rear end damage, and the nice thing is no airbags have gone on this one. Engine all looks good, and if we go a bit further down, all of the stolen history all good. Odometer says just 12,000 miles at the last recorded reading. And here's where it is interesting. Damage, it's not been damaged just once but twice in its history. The first one was a category D, which is equivalent to a Cat N, which is exterior of the car, non-structural. And then the second one in 2020 was more damage again. Spec on the car is standard 430 Spider. And then the interesting part on this one is the timeline. So it's been damaged, it's been repaired, and on the second occasion, it looks like the car has been exported in 2021. Now, the interesting thing about that is most people, when they export a damaged car to another European destination or elsewhere around the world, they think that they lose the history on the damage. And that is where it is absolutely vital to run a car vertical, because if you're in a different country with a car that's been exported, you're still going to see that it was previously damaged. And that is why I always run a car vertical whenever I'm checking any car. Make sure you guys, if you're looking at anything, or if you want to just check your own, run a car vertical report, and if you use code Ratarossa, you're going to get a lovely little discount on your report. What else have we got on this one? Well, we got all the original windows, we got all the original wing mirrors. One thing that has happened since we bought it, which is a little bit annoying, is somehow we have managed to crack the windscreen here. So it's going to need a new windscreen, and this windscreen surround here should just be black, and that's completely faded, so that all needs to be repainted. This can all clean up nicely. So exterior wise on the car, well, I'm quite happy with it. There's no major dents on it, all the bodywork is straight. There is one or two little scuff marks on this one. Firstly, down here on the rear bumper, we've got a little bit of a crack there, but that will be easy to rectify. Things that need to be lined up. So we even got the rubber flap for the fuel here. That's the original fuel cap. Now if we come to the front of the car, again, it's a similar story. It's all original. We've got the original grille. We've got no prancing horse here, which is correct on these early cars. They didn't have a prancing horse on the front grille. We've got the original badge. You can see the bonnet is it's straight, but everything's come off of this one. But it just needs rubbing down and repainting. Like I said, there's no dents in this car, so it's brilliant. We've got all the original fog lights here. We have got these trim pieces here that go on here. They're about £500 each. I've taken them off because we're just trying to protect those for now. Bonnet on this, same as 348, 355. That's about £2,000 used. These, again, pretty much £1,000 each used. Same with the grille, same with the front bumper. We've got a lot of money's worth of parts here if we broke this one into pieces. So there's one bit that concerns me on this car over everything else, and that is the engine here. In fact, you're probably not going to be able to see it in this light, so why don't we just move it round, and then I'll show you when we get it over there. Come on. All right, here is where the 348 project gets a little bit interesting, and well, it's a little bit naughty, because if we look inside the engine bay and put our temporary engine stay right there, you can see, well, it looks pretty complete. It needs a lot of work. There's bits hanging down. It needs a good old clean up, but all is not what it seems, because if you look a little bit closer, and specifically down here, you can see our cam covers that will need repainting. However, if you look a little bit closer, you can see down here in the ends we have no cams there or there, and it's the same on the other side. No cam there, and if we look behind this red bit of tape, I'm sure, yes, there's no cam there either. So that's a bit of a problem, and it gets worse if we go deeper into the engine, right down there.
is our 348 gearbox, and well, I can see light coming through it because there are no internals to that either. There's no drive shafts there, so we have some major problems with this. Now I think it is going to be pretty hard and very expensive to source all of those missing bits, so I don't really know what to do with this one. Do we do something very stupid? Don't forget, we have a spare Tesla sitting around. Do we stick a electric motor in the 348, or do we do something even more stupid and well, instead of doing a Ferrari conversion on a Toyota MR2 or a Fiero, do we put a Toyota MR2 in a real Ferrari? Anyway, that is the problem when you buy a car sight unseen from across the world. Sometimes you get burnt, and in this case I think I've been scolded pretty badly. So if you guys have got any suggestions what we should do on this one, drop them in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm going to try and figure out some kind of action plan for this. Now, first of all, we've got no kind of material on the inside of this one, so that's all going to have to be replaced. Same with, well, that used to be leather, that strap right there. As with that one, it's now something rather dry. All right, let's check this out. So, first of all, the most obvious thing, these door sills here. Now, I had a bit of a heart attack when I saw this because I thought that was just going to lead to the car being absolutely rotten. But if you take a closer look at this, we have actually removed this, a couple of screws. And these, well, 348s, 355s use the same panel here and they all rust. I've never seen one anywhere near as bad as this one, so I've got no idea what the story is. The good thing is, well, this is scrap. We're going to use our Ferrari tool, special Ferrari tool, rust tool here. Underneath that panel, because it is just a pretty trim piece, the actual chassis of the car is solid as rock. There's no rust there at all, so we got lucky because I got no idea what the history is of this car. It came from Japan. I don't know how it got so bad. It smells a bit funky inside. Could well have been a tsunami car is all I can imagine. It's just obviously been sat around like this for a long time. Now if you look at this door, this is a bit of a giveaway here. All of the leather at the top, so it's been sat baking in the sun, the humidity. Look at this, I can literally snap the leather off. It's that dry. All of this is gonna have to be retrimmed in some leather because there's no way you're going to recover that. First of all, there's no seats, they're missing completely. We've got all the covers for around the steering wheel. The steering wheel, I'll show you, is again very worn on the top. Now the weird thing is the doors you saw are very worn, both sides. The leather here is really bad, but check the dash out. The dash actually looks totally fine. The leather on there, it just needs a bit of a feed, but there's no real shrinkage on there. Definitely can recover that. Same with this surround, no problem at all there. Look at this. This is the top section of the this rear parcel shelf. How badly is that faded? And check this seatbelt out over here. Look at that. That's meant to be black. This is obviously, and that's how it should be. That's how much it's faded in the sunshine. That all needs sorting out. We've got all the center console here. We've got all the surround there for the steering column. Important bits. The computers here, the ECUs. They are in the car. Whether or not they're going to work, no idea at all. We do have the lock here. Now the car has got a key and it does actually work, so that's all good. Anyway, the interior, we're going to need to source some seats. We're going to do some leather retrim on the door, on the rear parcel shelf here, and we're going to have to sort out this steering wheel here. Now we've got some nice bits in here on the floor. This is our gated, or our gate. There's our original shift knob as well, which goes on there. All the trim pieces there. The interesting one will be if the electrics work on this one, and things like this AC unit, that never ever works, even on some of the best cars. We've got no radio in there, that's missing. Fuse box there, again, who knows. But on the floor, again, solid, so happy with that. Rust issues are obviously going to be a major problem on any Ferrari, so far it looks good. Oof, that works. Let's not the original key though. So in the front, first of all, the shocks don't work at all. We've got some very interesting looking handbrake surround there that again need to be retrimmed or replaced. These are the ECU covers, just need a clean up I think. Now again, all of this, the carpet is a little bit dirty but it's original. We got all of these panels here with the Ferrari badges on them. Looks good underneath. We've got a full trunk worth of interior carpets here, and well, let's have a look, shall we? Look, we've got some service parts there, brand new. Another bit there, so that's good. That goes around there. That goes on there. So we've got a complete trunk as well. Carpets all from the interior there.
Do we have a toolkit?
That's what I'm looking for. No toolkit. Surprise, surprise, the toolkit is missing. Underneath, the hood looks pretty good there. It's very clean actually.
Now in the front trunk of the car we had the carpets that had been removed. Now these have suffered a little bit, only they're perfect, they just faded, especially back there on the firewall, just on the edges. So I think we're going to try and dye these. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any suggestions on any products that we can use. It's just black, so it should be pretty straightforward. I've also already been buying parts for this 348. We picked up a set of seats. These are original 348 seats, and the nice thing about it, the reason I bought them, is they're the black ones that would have come in the car already. We managed to get these from Germany. We've had them shipped over. Now, they are not perfect, but they are not in need of a full retrim. These can be, with a little bit of TLC, bit of elbow grease, we can get these looking really nice. So my plan currently is we are going to take some of the really bad parts from the interior that is way gone, the leather on them. We're going to retrim that, and then we're going to have a combination of retrimming some bits and just trying to restore some of the other ones here. We've got some bits like this, the leather covers that sit over the ECUs at the back. Again, the leather on it is fine, it's just faded, and we can just respray that and make that look like new again. So that is the plan on the interior. We're just going to get it all original and make it look good. Alright, O's done a great job of vacuuming this all up. So we have a slight problem though, because as you can see, it's really faded in quite a few spots on here. And well, I've got a good plan. Quick fix, cheap fix. We're going to use some of this stuff, which is black dye. And it can be used on a variety of things, including fabrics. And we're going to try it on the 348 carpets. Let's do it. Alright, you're meant to try a test spot on this, but see if it's going to work or it's not. Look at that, it's making the slightly less faded stuff look great. I reckon we're going to need a couple of coats on this bit here though. Alright, we're going to leave that to dry for a little bit, then hit it with another coat and a third coat if needs be. But so far, that is a little bit of a transformation. Now, one thing I really like about the 348 and 355 is the luggage space. You get loads in the front here. As you can see, Owen fits quite nicely in there, yeah? He's been playing hide and seek for the last 4 days. Sorry, mate, I couldn't find you.
Where'd you
yeah? Look at that! You get a whole Owen in there. No problem at all.
Yeah, I'm not the smallest person.
That's brilliant, isn't it? I'm well impressed.
That's a lot of space.
Okay, next thing I want to do is, well, the car hasn't been cleaned for quite some time, so we're going to get the jet wash out to see how bad it is underneath all of that dirt. sure I said just remove the dirt. That's why you don't let Owen loose with a high-powered pressure washer like this. Hopefully it's sped up the paint process later on the build. In the meantime, let's check out how we're getting on with that interior. So the carpets came out remarkably well. Really happy with how we've managed to transform these. We've got one little bit over here still. It's still a little bit faded, so we're just gonna put a couple more coats there and the other bits, but the bulk of it is looking really good, so I'm very confident that we can make this look pristine again. We've also managed to pick up some of these little side sills here, so we're going to be working on this along with fitting some of these bits here that came from Australia. So we've got some cables here. These are handbrake cables. We've got a handbrake because well, mine was missing, cut-off switch, some engine poles there, and an accelerator cable. So we're going to be fitting all of those later on, but I've got a plan. First of all, we are going to take the car and we're going to work on exterior, and while we're doing that, this is going to be here, we're going to rework this while the car is going off to be repainted. Okay guys, so that is the very rough 348. No idea what the history is on this one. We're going to transform it and make this into a little gem. Next thing is this is going off to paint. I'll let you guess what colour we're going to do this one. Are we going to keep it original Rosso Corsa, or are we going to go a bit bold with this one? Anyway guys, you can find out in the next video. In the meantime, stay safe, ciao for now, and check out what I get up to on a daily basis here at the Rat Cave on my socials.